Today, the church honors St. Anthony of Padua. He was born in Portugal in 1195 and is one of the most famous disciples of St. Francis of Assisi, and he was a famous preacher and teacher. He was declared a saint by Pope Gregory IX. Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke is promoting ties between Native American tribes and the U.S. government. He spoke today at the National Congress of American Indians mid-year conference. This year's theme is building our communities through our values. And tonight, we bring you a News Nightly exclusive on the relationship between the Catholic Church and Native Americans. Hundreds of years ago, Catholic missionaries traveled across North America carrying the faith and converting Native people. Correspondent Mark Irons began his career in New Mexico as a teacher and returns to the school where he taught to show us the impact of those early missionaries.
For more than 100 years, children from the Ikaria Apache Native American Reservation have come to St. Francis of Assisi Catholic School, tucked 7,000 feet into the mountains of northern New Mexico. I taught here before joining EWTN. Some of my old students remember Mr. Mark. How would you describe Mr. Mark?
Tall. Fun. A good teacher.
Charles Naranjo attended in the 60s, followed by his children, and now his grandchildren.
We're all like one big family here and stuff, and everybody knows each other, know the grandchildren, know the kids and stuff, and like we keep, like coming back.
St. Francis is on the outskirts of the Diocese of Gallup, one of the largest in the U.S., spanning 55,000 square miles. It covers ground in New Mexico and Arizona, and 62% of that land is made up of 7 distinct Native American communities.
When we see that Native American peoples approach to spirituality, approach their Catholic faith, God comes first in their life, their family comes next, and then their third. I mean, it's a beautiful way of, approaching the faith.
Franciscan Friars introduced the Catholic faith to this part of the world, starting missions like St. Francis and my next stop, more than 200 miles south, St. Joseph Mission School.
The Franciscans were the only Catholic clergy, or the only clergy period, in New Mexico and the Southwest from 1598 until the early 1800s.
Father Jack Clark Robinson continues the tradition of his predecessors,
who were supposed to be,
who modeled their spirituality after the life of the famous 13th century Italian, St. Francis of Assisi.
I think that the way that the Native Americans of New Mexico understand Catholicism is through a Franciscan lens.
At St. Joseph Mission School, 90% of the students are Pueblo. Kurt Riley, a former student, is now governor of the Acoma Pueblo tribe. He says the Catholic faith has helped reinforce the tribe's values.
What the priest says and really clarifies what's written in the gospel through the sermons is the same thing that we as tribal leaders try to express to our people as to how to conduct themselves, how to treat each other, how to tolerate each other, how to care for each other, love each other. The Catholic religion aligns very well with our own traditional upbringing.
Dwelling place.
I drove 2 hours west of St. Joseph Mission to the thriving St. Michael Indian School, founded by St. Catherine Drexel in 1902.
I like the small class sizes, and I like being able to go to Mass every week.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass.
Tasba Shorty is a teacher here. She grew up in Navajo Nation with traditional Native beliefs sprinkled with sporadic Christian worship. After graduating from the University of Notre Dame, she came back to teach and converted.
I was not Catholic, and I really got to know more of the Catholic faith actually being a teacher here, going to the Masses. It's just a welcoming environment.
While St. Michael is fulfilling its mission, the diocese continues to face challenges. 73% of school students live at or below the poverty level, and alcoholism, a common struggle for Native Americans, plagues many families.
And so we try to provide opportunities for 12-step programs, AA.
Some of the other problems I saw when I taught at St. Francis, the water in town would sometimes run out, and the teachers lived in an old, run-down rectory, which has finally been replaced, but finding volunteer teachers to fill it is difficult.
The challenge of finding sufficient staff every year does keep me awake many nights.
Catholic education comes with a high price tag. Madeline Lyon, the St. Francis principal, says it costs $400,000 a year to keep the school open. And there are spiritual challenges. The church has been without a full-time priest, and Mass has only been celebrated 11 times since last summer. Still, the doors remain unlocked, carrying on the original mission of the Franciscans and opening a channel for the Native American children.
Our task is to try and have them open to God's possibility and God's grace. Whether baptized or not, whether Catholic or not, God's grace is available for everyone.
Mark Irons, or known in these parts as Mr. Mark, EWTN News Nightly.